Welcome to Bite-Sized L&D, your quick, no-nonsense update on the latest in workplace learning. Today, we'll explore the impact of leadership styles on workplace culture and how innovative approaches like 4-day work weeks are reshaping productivity. All right, let's get straight into it. Today, I want to talk about something that's been bothering me for a while now: the glorification of ruthless management styles, and how one particular tech billionaire has made this approach seem not just acceptable, but somehow admirable. I'm talking about Elon Musk and the dangerous precedent he's set at Twitter, now X, and how that's influencing leadership cultures worldwide. When Musk took over Twitter in late 2022, we all witnessed what can only be described as a leadership hurricane. Overnight, he laid off half the company. Those who remained received a midnight ultimatum: commit to an extremely hardcore work culture with 12-plus-hour days and 80-hour weeks, or take severance and leave. Employees discovered they were fired when they suddenly couldn't log in to their computers. Managers weren't even informed which team members were being let go. They found out through frantic texts from their own staff. What message did this send to the corporate world? That treating humans like disposable resources is somehow the mark of a visionary leader. That compassion is weakness. That work-life balance is for the uncommitted. And sadly, some CEOs took note. They watched Musk slash Twitter's workforce and thought, if he can do it, why can't I? Within weeks of Musk's takeover, we saw mass layoffs at Meta, Google, Amazon, and dozens of other tech companies. While economic factors were certainly at play, Musk had effectively set a new standard for how aggressively a company could be downsized in a short period. I've personally heard executives express admiration for Musk's decisiveness, his willingness to make the hard calls, regardless of the human cost. One CEO I spoke with actually said, "I wish I had the guts to do what Elon did," as if cruelty requires courage. Let me tell you about a CEO named James Clark at digital marketing firm Clearlink. Inspired by Musk's approach, Clark delivered his own aggressive ultimatum to employees in April 2023. He mandated an end to remote work, bragged about his own 18-hour days, and most disturbingly, praised an employee for selling their family dog to comply with returning to the office. "Those are the sacrifices that are being made, and I honor you for those," he said. He even disparaged working mothers in the process. The public reaction was swift and negative. The video went viral as a perfect example of toxic, cult-like leadership. But the fact that a CEO felt emboldened to make such demands shows the ripple effect of Musk's approach. And now, Musk has brought his careless approach to the Department of Government Efficiency, the so-called DOG. While I don't oppose optimizing government spending or eliminating truly redundant projects, treating career civil servants as underachievers and useless bureaucrats is simply wrong. These are people who have dedicated their careers to public service, often at lower salaries than they could earn in the private sector. But here's what bothers me most. This approach doesn't even work. Not in the long run. Let me explain why. When you create a climate of fear, you destroy psychological safety, the foundation of innovation and honest feedback. Former Twitter employees have described how staff grew afraid to give honest feedback under Musk, as his mood could turn on a dime, from excitement to anger. One former Twitter leader who initially embraced Musk's changes later wrote that Twitter 2.0 offered no psychological safety and a more brutalist and hardcore culture. In an environment where employees fear for their jobs daily, do you really think they're taking creative risks or speaking truth to power? What about the exodus of talent? When faced with Musk's ultimatum, hundreds of Twitter engineers, people vital to the platform's operations, chose to walk away rather than sign on to endless, high-intensity hours. In Twitter's internal chat, over 500 people posted farewell messages in a single day. As one tech recruiter put it, watching Musk is the best ad for not working at X. Great engineers from there are flooding the market. And let's look at the business results. Since Musk's takeover, Twitter's functionality has suffered with more bugs and outages. Ad revenue plummeted. The platform's value has declined dramatically from what Musk paid for it. Even as costs were cut, the core business suffered. Columbia Business School professor William Klepper called Musk's approach a case study of failed leadership, noting that while Musk can be a visionary change agent, his autocratic style undermines long-term organizational stability and innovation. So if Musk's hardcore approach isn't the answer, what is? Fortunately, we have plenty of examples of leaders who've achieved remarkable success while putting employees first. Take Satya Nadella at Microsoft. When he became CEO in 2014, he shifted the culture from ruthless internal competition to a collaborative ethos centered on empathy and growth. Under his leadership, Microsoft's market capitalization surpassed $1 trillion by 2019 as it reinvented itself in cloud computing. Nadella directly links this success to cultural change, arguing that understanding employees and customers leads to better innovation. He contends that a leader's job is to create clarity, generate energy, and deliver success. And that requires inspiring people, not intimidating them. Or consider Brian Chesky at Airbnb. During the pandemic, he had to lay off about 25% of his staff as travel ground to a halt. Rather than issue cold emails, Chesky wrote a heartfelt letter to employees that has been widely praised as a masterclass in empathy and compassion. He emphasized that the layoffs were about business survival, not performance, telling departing staff, "We will have to part with teammates that we love and value." The company offered generous severance, a full year of health insurance, and mobilized its recruiting team to help those laid off find new jobs. This transparent and caring approach kept trust intact among remaining employees, and Airbnb emerged from the crisis with its reputation preserved, later recovering to a successful IPO. Then there's Costco, which has built its entire business model around treating employees well. In an industry notorious for low wages and high turnover, Costco pays excellent wages with benefits and career growth opportunities. The result? One of the lowest turnover rates in retail and strong productivity. There's a telling anecdote about a Costco warehouse. A new manager noticed a top-performing supervisor working 6 days a week, routinely coming in on holidays. The manager's advice was counterintuitive. He told the employee to stop working so much and ensure he spent time with family. "Who says that?" the stunned employee remarked. Yet it encapsulates Costco's philosophy that a healthy work-life balance leads to sustained excellence. We're also seeing a growing movement toward 4-day work weeks. In a recent UK pilot program with 61 companies, over 90% decided to continue the 4-day week after a 6-month trial, with 51% making it permanent. The study found more efficiency, happier employees, and lower turnover rates, with none of the firms reporting a drop in overall output. In fact, many saw productivity improve. In surveys, 100% of participating managers said the impact on business was positive, citing better employee focus and morale. These examples challenge the notion that long hours and intense pressure are necessary for high performance. They suggest that a smart allocation of work, one that respects human limits, can achieve superior results. This aligns with what progressive leaders have argued for years. Focusing on outcomes rather than hours and ensuring employees are fresh and engaged ultimately drives better performance than sheer overtime. Look, I understand the appeal of the hardcore narrative. It's dramatic. It makes for good headlines. It plays into our cultural mythology about tough, uncompromising leaders who transform industries through sheer force of will. But this isn't a movie. It's the real world, where real people with families, health concerns, and human needs come to work every day. Yes, there are times when difficult decisions must be made. Yes, there are occasions when the team needs to push hard to meet a critical deadline. But these should be exceptions, not the rule. And even in challenging times, how we treat people matters. You can maintain high standards without sacrificing humanity. You can pursue ambitious goals without burning out your team. You can make tough decisions while still treating people with dignity and respect. So to the executives who envy Musk's approach but can't bring themselves to do it, I say thank goodness. That hesitation isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's recognition that sustainable success comes from building people up, not tearing them down. That loyalty can't be demanded at gunpoint. It must be earned through mutual respect and trust. The truth is, when you genuinely care about your employees, when you support their growth, listen to their concerns, and respect their lives outside of work, they'll give you their best. Not because they fear the consequences of doing otherwise, but because they're invested in a shared vision and value their place in it. So yes, fire people when necessary. Replace underperformers. Make tough calls. But do it as a decent human being. Remember that the people who work for you aren't just resources to be optimized. They're human beings with dreams, responsibilities, and dignity. Treat them accordingly, and you'll build something far more valuable than Elon Musk ever has. A truly sustainable culture of excellence. That's all I have for today. This is Yakov Lasker, and thanks for listening. We've explored how Elon Musk's tough approach at X contrasts with the success of empathetic leaders like Satya Nadella and Brian Chesky, highlighting that long-term success thrives on respect and shared vision. As we see the rise of four-day work weeks challenging traditional norms, it's clear that treating employees well fosters loyalty and innovation. Stay tuned for more updates.